Yes, greetings, scholars. So I want to assume everyone is doing very well. So from our last class, we concerning guides, we gave out a guide on item one of our Wakissha Chemistry 2026. So here we are giving a guide to item two. Wondering the person speaking, Mr. Henry. For those hearing me for the first time, that is from Cabo Academy. That is Pass Chemistry and Biology Academy. Those that do not know the program, our holiday classes already started. Then I was also reminded about something from the administrators. Many of the scholars from here are communicating with the administrators. However, things that were already explained from the guys are the same things they are asking. Why is it so? It is like that because some of you scholars are skipping out the class from where it starts from until where it ends. So ensure if you want to get all the educational content that is here, you watch from where it starts from until where it ends. You skip, you're missing out some content, and that's why maybe some scholars are asking things that already talked about. Minus that, for those that are going to be on YouTube, as you know, I always give you your time. If you're new and you haven't subscribed, you do that. Yes, so I'm giving you your 5 seconds to do that. Yes, so as always, I tell you what's the purpose of that. It is that whenever as Cabo Academy we post a new class on YouTube, you get notified. Minus the subscription or the following, you don't get any notification. So you miss out the free class that was updated. So these classes that you get here on YouTube, they are free classes. However, they are classes that are retained in the premium group. They are not shared out to the rest. And from that, maybe about the fee. Those that will speak to the administrator, any administrator, even though it is me or someone else, the fee is 30,000. That is concerning chemistry, physics, and biology. So without wasting a lot of time, let's item 2. So item 2, it was saying in different areas of the world, wars in different areas of the world have complicated the shipping of goods, mainly paraffin, to different countries, including Uganda. Community members of a certain area in western Uganda do not receive enough paraffin, yet they depend on it for domestic use. Everyone knows that this paraffin, it is the one that is used especially in the cooking process. Okay. The government of Uganda has advised members to start producing biogas from organic materials. The main component of biogas is methane, but is produced with other byproducts which are carbon dioxide and hydrogen sulfide. What are they meaning? They are meaning that we want methane. However, during the production of methane, there are also other byproducts. Byproducts, they are those compounds or substances produced and they are not of need for the purpose of the process that is taken. So that was carbon dioxide and hydrogen sulfide. Community members have approached you and would like to know more about biogas production. So that was the item. If you didn't do the mock, you take a screenshot such that you go and try out yourself. Yes. Or you can even try out yourself before you see even the guide. Then you come back and mark yourself. Those that did the mock, they know it very well. So let them open their eyes wide. So task was saying, task number 1 or part A, explain the category of products produced together with methane. So here we are going to give the category of the products produced and I also give the category of methane, and how methane can be isolated from the other products. Now, number one, we said they said, those people that wrote the item, in alongside production of biogas, there are byproducts like carbon dioxide and hydrogen sulfide. So, carbon dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, and methane itself are covalent compounds. Why are they covalent compounds? Now, everyone knows that covalent compounds, they are formed from covalent bonding. What is covalent bonding? Covalent bonding, it is this type of bonding that is involved in nonmetals, between two or more nonmetals. Now, when you look at carbon dioxide is made up of two elements, that is carbon and oxygen. Why is it called carbon dioxide? The word di, it means two. Then oxide, it comes from oxygen. So it means carbon dioxide has two oxygen molecules. However, it is made up of carbon and oxygen. Carbon is a metalloid, but it majorly exists as a non-metal. So carbon is a non-metal, likewise to oxygen a non-metal, meaning their bonding that will take place, it will be covalent. When you go to hydrogen sulfide, it is the same. We are having hydrogen and sulfur in the bonding. Both of them, they are nonmetals. When you go to methane, methane is made up of carbon and hydrogen only. Carbon is a nonmetal, hydrogen is a nonmetal. So all of them, they qualify to be covalent compounds. So carbon dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, and methane are covalent compounds. Now, on item 2, we give the category. We give a reason for that category that is under the explanation. Then we give an example. So we are finished to give our category. Why are they covalent compounds? This is because their bonding involves the sharing of electrons between their nonmetal constituent elements respectively. Why does this bonding occur? The bonding occurs so as to obtain a stable electronic configuration. Another example of a covalent compound, we have water. So that was number one of explaining or giving the category. Now, if you didn't do that and you didn't include methane from the covalent compounds, you could come down here and give the category of methane separately. So methane is a hydrocarbon. You give a reason. This is because it is made up of carbon and hydrogen only. Minus putting the word only, you're going to be crossed out. Why? Because there are also other compounds that have carbon and hydrogen, but they also have other elements into them, and they are not hydrocarbons. So hydrocarbons, they only have carbon and hydrogen. Take an example of glucose. Glucose also has carbon and hydrogen, but it also has oxygen. So if you don't put the word only, you're going to be scored to a 0. Another example of hydrocarbon, we have ethane. So that was the categorizing part, or the categorizing part. Yes. Now, from there, we can give, they also asked how methane can be isolated from other products. We saw that there are some byproducts we don't want. That is carbon dioxide and hydrogen sulfide. Okay. So, how methane can be separated from other products? So, methane can be separated from biogas by passing the biogas through iron 2 oxide so as to remove hydrogen sulfide. Now, for us to be sure that we are going to get only methane, we have to remove these byproducts that we don't need. So we look for substances that can absorb these byproducts that we don't want, such that they go away and remain with the gas that we want. So number one, to remove hydrogen sulfide, we use iron 2 oxide. Then the remaining gas is passed through an alkaline solution. I want to assume from senior 2 we all remember alkaline solutions. So this can be sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, and alkaline solution. Okay, so the remaining gas is passed through an alkaline solution such as sodium hydroxide. Why? So as to absorb carbon dioxide. When carbon dioxide is also absorbed, it means it is removed from the biogas. So we are going to have methane being the resultant gas, the only one remaining. Okay, so methane does not react with any of these two substances. So if it doesn't react with any of these two substances, hence it remains as the only gas collected. So that is the first way we could get our methane. Number two, alternatively, the products are first liquefied at a very high pressure and low temperature, then fractionally distilled. Why do we do this? To separate methane from other products. Since products have different boiling points from that of methane, and it is from this that methane can be collected. So either way, you could pick one. So you kindly take a screenshot. Let's see part B. Part B was saying, explain the suitability of methane as a fuel. Now, take key. When they say explain, identify, state, they are different things. With the word explain, they want you to explain its suitability. Okay? Then the other part, on the part of suitability, in most cases where suitability comes from, they want properties. I've not said it is a mandate that everywhere you see suitability they want properties, but in most cases they want properties. Whenever they ask for a property in a of suitability, you should apply also or put an application. You should add an application of that compound or substance towards the normal environment. Okay? So if you don't put an application, even though you have written correct properties, they will all be scored to a 0. They will be marked, but they will be scored to a 0. So number one, methane is highly flammable. Why is it highly flammable? Because it readily reacts with the oxygen in air and has a low ignition temperature. So now that is the explanation. Application, hence it catches fire easily. Number two, methane has a high calorific value. Why is it so? This is because it releases large amounts of heat. What's the importance of the large amounts of heat? Which fastens the cooking process. Okay, so we are explaining where the high calorific value comes from, and even we are giving the application. Another one, methane has a low density. This is because its molecules have a relatively small mass and are widely spread in gaseous state. We know that methane is in gaseous form, and from senior to kinetic theory of matter, we simply know that we have liquids, gases, and solids. Under gases, they are the ones that are where the molecules are separated very farthest from each other. And when molecules are separated farthest from each other, it means even your mass will be less compared to solids where molecules are very close to each other. So solids have a high mass. So that is number one. Another one, their molecules are relatively small. They being relatively small, it means still they will have a small mass. So methane has a low density because its molecules have a relatively small mass and are widely spread in gaseous state, hence making it light for transportation for use. Another one, methane can be compressed because it is a gas. So that is an explanation. Yes. So since it is a gas, under properties of gases fall under air still. So air can be compressed. Yes. So because it is a gas, hence this enables methane to be packed. It enables more methane to be packed in gas cylinders under high pressure. Now, if methane was not compressible, there is no way it could go in the gas cylinders. Or if it was to go there, less of it could go there. But since we can compress it, that's why more and more can be compressed, such that if you use your gas cylinder, it can even last for 3 to 4 months. Why? Because we have more of the methane in the gas cylinder. So that was part B. If you didn't explain, sorry, next time you explain. So you also take a screenshot for that. And lastly, part C, what was it saying? Explain the dangers associated with biogas production, and they were specific to the environment. Now, we saw that during this production there is a carbon dioxide and hydrogen sulfide produced. So, during biogas production, dangerous gases like carbon dioxide are released to the atmosphere, which causes global warming. We said on the part of side effects or dangers, we identify the danger, we explain how it comes about, and also give a mitigation. So, there we have already identified the danger. The danger it causes is global warming. So how does it come about? Carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas. So what does it do? It forms a thermal blanket. This thermal blanket, it traps radiant energy from the sun. So with the time, there is increase in temperature. This thing doesn't happen in a one day. No, it is a gradual thing. So if it continuously happens, there is increase in temperature. Hence, that's how the global warming comes about. How can it be solved? It can be mitigated by planting fast-growing trees. To do what? To absorb the excess carbon dioxide such that it cannot accumulate. Now, the key point in the mitigation, you should write the word fast-growing trees, because it's not that every tree could help us. Perhaps some trees could grow in 10 years time. So by 10 years time, it means that the global warming would have already taken up the continent or the world or the country, when the country is even now very dry. So you say fast growing trees. Simply take a screenshot to that. So simply that was the item 2. Very simple. Those scholars about the holiday. For us, we have our holiday classes every day, asking the time at 9 p.m. Yes, and of recent we have covered some good part in electromagnetism, where we ended on the bell, and yesterday we covered something in coordination in mammals or in animals. Yes, so you reach out to the administrators through that number. We see how to be helped. Other than that, nice time, scholars. Yes, shall start from there.